In this video, I'd like to answer some questions some people have had about the essay rubric. So first off, critical thinking. One of the questions I've gotten from a couple of people is, how do I move from the thoughtful introduction to the effective introduction range? And remember that the purpose of the introduction is to engage your audience. And then, of course, that's where your thesis should be as well. But the larger purpose of the introduction is to get readers to want to read your essay and to get them interested in your topic. So typically in that effective range, you're using one of the techniques to actually engage your audience, one of those rhetorical techniques for introductions and conclusions. So if you don't remember that, I linked to it. I can't remember which week, but I linked to it earlier on. And if you'd like to review those different techniques, you can go out to Writing Teacher Tools, go to Browse by Topic, go to Composition Basics, and from there you will see, just scroll down till you see Writing Introductions and Conclusions, and review that document and try out some of those techniques there if you're interested in moving your grade up higher for the introduction and conclusion. The next item here is level 1 unity. I can't emphasize enough how important level 1 unity is. If you don't have a strong connection between your topic sentences and your thesis, the whole structure of your essay is on a weak foundation. So make sure that my goal is that everybody's up in this 4 range here, hopefully up into this 5 range. If you have any problems with a 3, 2, or 1, make sure you go back out to Writing Teacher Tools and review those documents or watch the videos in the various weeks. They're around week 4 and week 5 to make sure that you're understanding how to improve level 1 unity. So just briefly, I'm going to bring you out to Writing Teacher Tools again. If you go out to Writing Teacher Tools and again, browse by topic, go to essay types, and when you go down to the writing about literature, the specific documents out here to help you with that, with the level 1 unity, is make sure you have the so what element. So make sure you're reviewing that and watching perhaps the video. Make sure you're looking at this document on improving level 1 unity in a literary analysis. And also check out some of the sample essays that are out on Canvas to analyze how other writers who've been successful are using level 1 unity to make sure their essays are well structured. Okay, so the next item on our list, level 2 unity. If we have a problem with the claim structure, we're going to probably have a problem with the level 2 unity. These are directly connected. So if you don't have a strong claim, the paragraph lacks focus, lacks leadership, and therefore the rest of the sentences in the paragraph aren't as, they don't have a place to go. They don't have anything to follow or to lead up on or to develop. So it's super important that you have strong level 1 unity, and therefore you'll be able to make sure that everything stays connected in the paragraph. The one thing that you might want to be looking for is the presentation of your evidence. It might be somewhat illogical, so always be thinking about the order that you're presenting your support and that it has some sort of logical reason for putting one piece of support ahead of another piece of support. For structure and coherence, this is all about that access document. So if you are out on Writing Teacher Tools and you are at the writing in the area of writing about literature, you will see that using access to develop a literary paragraph. So make sure you go through those steps on how to improve the coherence. So access that your support, which would be your textual example, or the X, and the E is your explanation. Super important to improving coherence. And again, you might want to take a look at some of the sample essays out on Canvas to see how other writers have been successful in demonstrating strong coherence. Okay, development and evidence. So what I'm looking for here is that you've selected strong sources, and the passages that you've actually put into your essays they have a real kind of striking component to them that really proves the claim. When you're going down the scale here, you might have some that maybe aren't as persuasive. Some of the passages maybe aren't persuasive. You might have weak selections here where I always tell people after they've drafted their essay to go back through and read your support and ask yourself, did I need that support? Is it actually proving my claim? And then do I need to quote it, or would paraphrasing be preferable? So those are some of the questions you should be asking yourself in terms of paragraph development and evidence. Remember, with attributive tags, that's this idea of making sure you're attributing credibility to your sources. So if you're in this 3 range here, you're probably not using attributive tags. And if you need to refresh your memory on what those are, you can go back into, I'm not remembering which week we looked at attributive tags, but you can go back into that assignment, or you could go to Writing Teacher Tools, go to Browse by Topic, Academic Writing Basics, and just scroll down until you see that big blue PowerPoint. And in here is where I describe attributive tags and how you should be using those to help develop more credibility for yourself. Because if you tell your readers why your source is credible, you're therefore getting more credibility as well. So that is for our evidence. Significant statements, make sure that you don't just kind of end your paragraph on support, or just end your paragraph on a smaller idea. You want to make sure you bring your the topic sentence concept back to your thesis. So explain why that topic sentence concept was significant to your thesis. So that's what I'm looking for there with the significance. With your sentences, I'm looking for that you're using a wide variety of sentence structures. If you're in this 3 range, you probably have 2 or 3 sentence structures that you're using over and over again, and you haven't really ventured out into other types of styles. So if you're trying to work on improving this area, again, go back out to Writing Teacher Tools. This time, you're going to go to Grammar and Style. So go Browse by Topic, Grammar and Style. And there's a couple of documents out here that you can use to help improve your sentence structure. So I'm just going to, since I'm out here, I'm just going to note if you've got grammatical errors, if grammar and mechanics, if I've said you've got some errors in here, you might want to check out this document. And if you've got comma problems, make sure you check out that document. And then here's the one on sentence variety. So on this document, I think I've got 28 different sentence styles, sentence structures. And so up in that 5 range, you're using, more than, 4 or 5 of these different sentence structures, and you're conscientiously trying to vary your sentence openings and vary your sentence types. And for word choice, you might want to take a look at this improving diction document. So if we go back to, I just covered a few of those documents on Writing Teacher Tools, but the sentences, you'll use that improving sentence variety, vocabulary, you can look at that diction choice, and grammar and mechanics, you can look at some of those other grammar activities that I have out on Writing Teacher Tools. So again, sentences, if you're in this 3 range, you're probably using 2 or 3 of your favorite sentences and you're not adding variety. Vocabulary, make sure you're not using second person. That's the you voice. So the standard convention in academic writing is we prefer third person. Excuse me. You might have a little bit of first person. Vernacular means your writing sounds like speech instead of sounds like formal written language. So make sure you're paying attention that it doesn't sound like you're talking in your writing. Okay, my biggest kind of recommendation for vocabulary is always choose great verbs. If you find a good verb, you will more than likely end up changing the structure of your sentence as well. So it's a kind of a 2-for-1 revision. Okay, grammar and mechanics. If you're in this area, make sure that you carefully proofread your writing. My guess is that maybe you're not seeing the errors. If you've proofread and you still aren't seeing those errors, make an appointment with me and we can walk through them. Or the Writing Center has grammar appointments, so you can make a grammar appointment with the Writing Center, and one of the writing consultants there will help you see what types of errors you tend to make. Documentation is the source requirements. So it's kind of an all or nothing. Either you meet the source requirements or you don't. So you have to meet the number of sources and the number of academic journals. Some people list sources on the works cited, but they're not actually citing those sources in the text. So make sure whatever's listed on the works cited is in fact somewhere referenced in your essay, and it has to make sure that you're referencing whatever the minimum requirements are on the prompt. Okay, literary elements, so I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. And then MLA, I'm going to do a separate video for MLA just to make sure for people who are having problems with this, just to kind of highlight some of the common problems. So you can go ahead and watch that video later on. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a little bit more understanding of what's going on with the rubric and what it is that you would need to do to revise your essay should you choose to do so. As always, email me if you have questions.